today we're going to be talking about memes. Yeah, you heard me right. Memes, but not just any memes, and we're not going to be talking about just anything. We're going to be talking about how memes are actually used as serious linguistic tools. We're going to be talking about how memes combined images, text, and specific social contexts to create deeper meaning. So throughout the course of this video, we're going to focus on two main memes. Meme number one is the mocking SpongeBob meme, and meme number two is the "this is fine" meme. So what even is a meme? As Lamore Schiffman puts it, memes are groups of digital items sharing common characteristics of content, form, and/or stance. They're shared, modified, and spread because they reflect something true about how we communicate today. So both the mocking SpongeBob meme and the "this is fine" meme have stood the test of time since they've been created and have resurfaced over the years with a deeper layer of meaning, and they reflect the specific cultural context of the time that they're resurfacing in. Before we fully jump into things, I just want to preface with saying I've got an outline on my iPad, so if you ever see me looking down or reading off of here, just know this is kind of to keep me guided and focused throughout the course of the video. So first, let's get into kind of the basic research question that I have to guide today, and then also kind of my rationale with why I chose to take this direction with it. So first, let's talk about three key terms I want you to kind of keep in mind while you watch the video. Number one is multimodal. Number two is digital prosody. Number three is linguistic innovation. So my overall research question is, how do memes blend linguistic and visual elements to create new modes of meaning? This topic connects three main ideas: language change, dialect formation, and social influences on communication. So kind of thinking about how do all of these things work together to create deeper meaning, and how do they reflect the different social and cultural contexts of the time? As Wiggins puts it, memes function discursively, offering ideological commentary shaped by form and circulation. So we can see how different digital users are using memes to create deeper meaning that specifically applies to the context of their time. So let's start with a little bit of historical context. Okay, picture me this, a timeline of digital communication. What does that even look like? First, we have Leet Speak. Then we have LOL Cats. We're all familiar with this one. Then Rage Comics. Probably familiar with this one too. And now we're to modern memes. And this is a super broad term because memes in today's digital culture are extremely broad. We see memes encompassing many different layers of humor, which kind of adds to that linguistic characteristic, which we'll kind of get into a little bit whenever I get to dialects and how different humor creates different dialects and memes. We also have emojis and different text abbreviations. So before memes were even a really big part of culture, different people online were using text abbreviations, memes, Leet Speak, different things to modify language to create a really specific and nuanced tone for an online space. These I would consider as early signs of orthographic stylization. So what is that? Specifically for this, I'm referring to whenever spelling and visual elements take very specific forms to fit the area in which they're being communicated at the time. Schiffman notes that vernacular creativity of digital users is central to meme culture. So, depending on who creates the meme, there will always be a specific tone or voice that is a characteristic of that person and the time and generation in which they were raised. So memes grew out of the abbreviation of text and different modes of communication online to mirror specific, nuanced cultural movements of the time. That's just kind of a really, really brief history of how memes have kind of came out of that leet speak, cat videos, emojis, text abbreviations, how those things all progressed to digital memes taking forms through videos, images, and text overlaid, both video and image. You can kind of see throughout that timeline how each layer added another element of linguistics to it, through finally ending at different text abbreviations used to show different meaning and tone throughout online spaces. Now that being applied to images and videos, which result in memes. So that's kind of just to wrap up a really, really brief historical context before we jump into how memes influence linguistics. So let's talk about our first meme, the mocking SpongeBob meme. I'm sure you're pretty familiar with this, and if not, it is a hugely popular meme that surfaced a few years back and has continued to resurface throughout its time and throughout its space online. So the mocking SpongeBob meme is really unique because it uses text to reflect tone. So what do I mean when I say that? It's using alternating capitalization to show a specific tone in the meme. So what is that tone? By capitalizing specific letters, it is showing a specific tone of mockery and sarcasm. Through seeing the specific capitalization in the text, you can pick up on a sarcastic and witty tone in the meme. This is a key example of one of those words I noted at the beginning of the video, digital prosody. Specifically, the formatting in this meme represents how something is supposed to be said. Like I said, I read it in a specific tone because of the formatting of the text on the meme. Wiggins says, paralinguistic features like text style help us index social attitude. Through how this text is written on this meme, we can see the sarcastic nature of the social context in which it was made. This meme is also really interesting because, like many other memes, it relies on intertextuality. This meme references a SpongeBob episode which stands alone as its own part of digital media. But you don't need to understand SpongeBob to get the tone of the meme. This is because memes rely on a shared social knowledge. As a culture, you're kind of expected to pick up on the tone and the message being relayed in memes because of a broader social understanding of the climate in which the meme is being made. So let's jump into our second meme. Our second meme is the "This is fine" meme. This meme is actually from an original KC Green comic. Again, another reference is something that stands alone as its own part of media. So this meme is really interesting because it's actually been adapted to fit very specific parts of culture. So you can see this meme being used to create political memes, memes on mental health, and just overall different memes that reflect the culture of the time. So the "This is fine" meme represents a very specific type of meaning making that is really different than the SpongeBob meme. So the calm phrase of "this is fine" is completely in opposition with the burning background and the face of the dog within the comic. So this contrast creates a really interesting tone that's able to be displayed throughout this meme. Schiffman says again, memes allow people to express affective states in coded, humorous ways. We can see how very, very divisive political statements are able to be made in a humorous way because of the nature of this meme. And just to be clear, not endorsing any politics in this meme, I'm just using it for the example of this video. Over time, this meme specifically has evolved to comment on many different social issues, from global warming to overall just student and academic stress. The ability for this meme to be adapted across culture to fit specific contexts shows how memes are so flexible in terms of communication. Whether you first saw the meme as a political commentary or now are seeing it as a commentary on academic stress, you can still relate to the meme because of the common thread of the image. Memes like traditional language gain deeper meaning as they're repeated and reused and tweaked to fit specific contexts. So let's now kind of talk about these different linguistic contexts and break them down within the context of memes. So we have orthographic stylization. Orthographic stylization is present in memes like the mocking SpongeBob meme. It uses text design to convey sarcasm. Here's an example of that. Next, we have digital prosody. Digital prosody uses text formatting to imitate tone, rhythm, and to create certain emphasis on different ideas or points. We see this in both the This Is Fine meme and the Mocking SpongeBob meme. Here's another example of that. Next, we have intertextuality. Memes can often rely on different people understanding the references that they're making. You can see this in the SpongeBob meme and the This Is Fine meme. You may understand one layer of meaning within this meme if you haven't seen either SpongeBob or the comic, but having a deeper understanding of both of those images allows you to understand the meme better and create another layer of meaning. Then we have semantic incongruity. In the This Is Fine meme, humor and meaning is coming from a contradiction. You see it with the fire and the calm tone in which the This Is Fine is being said throughout the meme. This contradiction is creating the meaning of the meme. Lastly, we have polyvocality. As Milner explains, memes are polyvocal texts, sites where many voices speak through one shared form. This is where we get the idea of digital dialects. Different groups are speaking and creating identity through the use of different memes. This is often used to critique culture through multimodal language. So now let's kind of talk about that idea of polyvocality and how digital dialects are created. Twitter most oftenly prioritizes short conciseness and sarcasm. Reddit is where you go to get the deep commentary on the meme. You can find the explanation of its origin to how it appears across different time periods and in different modes. I don't know about you, but I'm a huge fan of crazy Reddit threads. And then with TikTok, you get a really interesting, nuanced platform because you're also adding video and audio. In TikTok comments, it's usually pretty ruthless, and you can see from comment section to comment section individual bubbles of communication that may have different views, opinions, and beliefs. Milner has a really interesting quote on this, saying that memes amplify collective expression by collapsing speech acts into a single remixable image text. So you can see how memes are able to communicate this collective idea by this single image that is actually continually changed and reused in different ways. So as we can see how these different memes act and behave over different platforms, they are interacting with something called platform vernacular. This is how different spaces create different rules for communication, and how the tone of that communication is influenced by the rules of that platform. This adds another layer to memes because you can see how they're influenced by the social pressures of that digital platform. So you can see how these memes interact on the different digital spaces because of the dialects and vernacular formed within those digital platforms. People can often be seen switching dialects or vernaculars between platform to platform. Our language is often influenced by the people that we hear the most from. So if we're on a specific platform that speaks a specific way, our language is most often going to replicate that dialect or vernacular. This adds a really interesting layer to memes and how they can evolve between specific online groups. In the same way that different dialects are formed across different countries, different dialects are formed across different digital platforms. And though memes reflect a broad cultural context, they can still be influenced by the digital platform on which they're being received. So, in conclusion, what does all of this even mean? We can see that memes are not just single-layered, funny jokes made to provide some humor on the internet. Memes actually reflect specific linguistic traits that are being adapted to fit the digital age. We can see how different layers of meaning are added to memes through their images, their texts, and even the digital platform in which it's being received. So what do memes teach us about language? They teach us that today, language is something that is blended using both visual and textual elements to create a creative expression of meaning. This is not something that's just singularly created. Memes are given part of their meaning by how they're received by a collective of people. Memes show us that language is influenced by how the collective society receives it. Memes show us how people are reinventing rhythm, tone, language, and meaning making to create a shared digital language. Wiggins summarizes this really well, saying, "Memes aren't just digital jokes. They're ideological and discursive tools shaped by culture and context." Though memes can be really, really funny at times, they actually create a deep sense of community because of how cultures are able to use them to communicate. Memes are a way for us to come together and build community through digital platforms, when many times digital platforms are used to create division. Through the use of both humor and critique, we can see how language continues to evolve and adapt, and how we are also adapting with it. This is reflecting in our memes and how we're using them. As mentioned previously, there are many different types of humor across different digital platforms, and as that evolves, our language and communication continues to evolve with it. I hope that this helped clue you in into how memes are actually really, really fascinating linguistic tools. I know that as I was researching for this video, it completely opened my mind onto the idea of how memes are used across different digital platforms. I find it really fascinating how language can adapt to fit specific social contexts, even to the point of on specific digital platforms. Going even a step further into saying specific nuanced posts and comment sections. It's really fascinating how language can adapt to fit our specific linguistic needs as a broader culture and then as tinier subsets of people. I hope that you have a deeper and newfound appreciation for memes after this video, and that you can see that they really are awesome tools for communication. Alrighty, I'll end this video with a slide of the sources that I used and then a couple of memes for your enjoyment. Thank you.